Didn't start yet. Okay. I think we are live. Let's test the volume. Didn't start yet. There we go. There's some delay. Volume is good. Welcome back to Abed Podcast. This is episode 20. And we are live. Thank you for you guys for tuning in. I know it's the weekend, but this episode is really made for you guys. So I hope, first of all, thank you very much for tuning with us today and choosing to be with us in this live episode while it's a weekend. But it's going to be beneficial for you. I hope so. It's going to be beneficial for you in the coming days. So welcome again to this podcast where we break the cycle. We try to build habits and equip you with tools to win. Today's topic is one of the topics that I have been advocating about it and few of our guests even have mentioned it and spoke about it in the last episodes. As you have seen in the title in this episode, it's effective communication. This is not just a skill. It is a life-changing superpower. Today, I am your friend who's trying to help you. We are living on an age dominated by communication platforms, social medias, email, instant messaging platform, whatever it is. That, in theory, should make our communication more effective and more consistent. But let me ask you this today. Are they truly enhancing the way how we connect today, or they are just noise? How many of you today, and I'm asking you and ask yourself, how many of you today have 3 or 4 WhatsApp message group, you put it on silent? I have to. I don't know about you guys. Do you think whatever had been communicated on those groups is a proper conversation or proper communication? I have no idea. It's up to you now to judge it. I did that and I filtered it myself and I exited at least 3 or 4 groups and I deleted totally from my phone. And I asked the specific people who were there, if you need something from me, contact me direct. Actually, I remember the time when we used landline. I know some of you guys will say, Abed, you're too old. I know I'm too old. Landline was a big thing for us, especially if the holiday season came. We used to call family members and friends and congratulate them on the phone on the holiday season. If it's Ramadan, if it's Eid, you name it. Actually, we used to put a list of the name of the people that we need to call. Heck, you know what? Even if we try to call someone and his phone is busy, we got angry because that gentleman, whoever it is answering somebody's call, not our call. That level, it was calling someone on the landline was important. It gets better. Once mobile phone was introduced, we used to load credit. I used to load credit in my prepaid SIM card or whatever line you call it. And we start to call most of the people on the contact list, calling them, not sending SMSs, not sending WhatsApp. Look now what happened. Now we just one message, select all, then send. All done without a single word. There is no word having spoken. Do you think, and I ask you today, do you think this is a proper conversation or not? It gets worse. Nowadays, people go into an applications and websites looking for relationships and friendship instead of being around people in real time. Do you call this a conversation? Never mind communication by itself. Trust me, never mind about communication. At this stage, never mind about communication itself. It is about the conversation itself. Even don't think about effective communication at this stage. When you did not have a proper conversation from the start, effective communication, guys, imagine it. Effective communication is the result of the activity of connecting, which require meaningful conversation in the first place. Where's my drawing board? I should have drawn a diagram for you guys. Where's my writing board when I need it? You know what? Use your imagination for now, and please just let it sink in for a bit. If you have been following this podcast, you will remember my last video about auditing your 2024 relationship. Effective communication is the glue that nurtures these connection. So today, it's the time to unlock this tool and set yourself up for a success in 2025. So let's dive in. Warren Buffett once said, if you can develop the skill of communication, you will help your self-worth, self-value in any area of work that you are in, more than any skill. And Warren Buffett, guys, he is the top millionaire, the top investor in the world. He has everyone buying dinner to sit with him because they know him the best communicator and the best connector with people. So the obvious question here, why does communication matter? Well, it matters because it is your tool to connect effectively with other people around you. We talk a lot about nurturing relationships. We are talking about building networks in the workplace, building networks around the workplace, even having proper friends. So effective communication is the tool to connect in a way that you are in the best harmony with the people around you. And guess what? It's all about others. It's not all about you when you start connecting with people. This episode is made for you, so I will have you as a friend today, not only as a follower. I'm trying to connect with you, even from behind the camera. Once, and I hope, once we have connected effectively, then I will be able to help you to fulfill your aim, to break the cycle of failure, or even work in improving your life. Let's check a little bit who have joined us on the live stream, and I will be reading your chats whenever it comes. While preparing for this episode, I was thinking about you guys, my friends, listening for this episode and watching it, thinking about how effective are you in your communication, whether getting your voice heard, expressing yourself clearly, say what you mean and mean what you said. It's very critical. Or whatever communication that you have, is it just a noise? I have no idea. Back in 2016, I'll take you back on time. Back in 2016, I joined a workshop about social media marketing. It was a one-day workshop, and the instructor was a pioneer at that field at that time. I'm talking about 2016, before even the how can I say, the exposure of influencers and how they became a marketing tool. So this gentleman, he was a pioneer at that field and really throwing real games. Once he's talking about through the screen, and this is what I'm emphasizing, he is brilliant. When he was guiding us through the screen, because he was sharing his screen and we followed him. So technically he's talking behind the screen. This is the caveat. He's talking behind the screen. He is just typing. His conversation is through the screen. What happened next? When he started the Q&A conversation, then problem arose. He struggled so bad to get to the point directly. It was taking him, and this is an adult guy. He's like, I don't remember right, but he was probably mid-30s, 35, 36. So, and he had lots of experiences. You expect him that conversation will flow smoothly and will be just ready to put you on the point. However, it was taking him 10, 15, sometimes 30 minutes to get to the point. I even, at the moment of time, I have stopped him out of frustration. It was not out of disrespect. I stopped him saying, could you please land the plane? Well, it was not my intention to embarrass him in front of the group, but it was out of frustration because I told him, I said, I joined after, of course, after the workshop have ended, I came to him and I said, look, I didn't mean by any shape or form to embarrass you, but I've joined this workshop with you, specifically with you, to learn from you, since you was genius at that time. So I just said what I said because I'm direct communicator. And I said, please make sure next time when you train people, make sure you deliver the message at the least word and possible time. And he said, why? Where did you learn this? You are talking about specific terminologies. Where did you learn this? I said, I come from a sales profession, and communication was the essence for us to be successful because I mentioned to him about public speaking training, and I said, I told him, I said, why didn't you join a public speaking training? Guys, this is in 2016. It's back on the days public speaking was a thing that not yet been discovered in this part of the world. Yes, you could see it in US and UK or other part of the world, but here in this part of the world was not really that much discovered. People used to travel abroad to join this public speaking training or courses with well-known names. We are not here to mention them. So when I said, why did you go to join a public speaking training? He was shocked and surprised. He said, how did you came up with this? I said, as I said, I'm from your audiences. So if you are too difficult to give me that message, then you lost me. And as we started in the sales profession, our target was to highlight for our clients what is the benefits or the disadvantages of certain service or product. And sometimes we don't have time. So we were required, or we were required to present ourselves and our company in the most compelling way and a very short time frame. Even they're calling it the elevator pitch. So you got 11 seconds to deliver your message, 11 seconds to reach to the point that you want your audiences to understand it from you. 11 seconds. This is how deep is the communication and conversation can go. So at that moment, I told myself, I gave myself a promise actually. If I became a trainer one day, I would remember the situation that I faced, and I would put myself in the heart and the mindset of the audiences, because I know if I am thinking about them, I will connect with them. Conversation is not one-way street, guys. It's not one-way street. A lot of people, they talk just for the talk. That's not conversation. A lot of people, they just talk, they want to hear themselves. That's not a conversation. A lot of people interrupting others, not to answer, just to interject. That's it. The worst thing you can do for yourself when you are a trainer, actually, is talking to yourself. It's very bad, guys. It's really very bad. When you are in the room with 5, 10, 15 people and you think they are talking to yourself, that's really bad. So one takeaway in this point, keep it in mind, the success of this year, if you want to succeed in this year, it is not just about what you do, it's about how well you connect and collaborate with others. And this was one of the points I asked you to audit it in 2024 activities. Thank you for Mofa for joining us today in the stream, and I hope you will have some insightful thoughts about it. And thank you very much for the shout out. Whenever the topic of effective communication arises, I used to get three type of answers. One of them was saying, "Oh, I get my stuff done anyway. I don't need that skill." The other one was saying, "You know what? Yes, I recognize it's important, but it's not all about me only. It's about the other person who I'm communicating with. So it's the role is it's two-way communication, which is good." The third person who's answering me, he would say, "I'm okay. I don't need it. I don't need to learn it." So here's my responses for each. For the first response, I will say, "Okay, good for you. For now, for one reason or for the following reasons, now you don't need the proper communication. You don't know how much you lose from not capitalizing on this skill, and you are not getting the most out of people around you." Again, think about it if you are in the workplace. If you are only dictating the conversation with your staff or with the team around you, you are not getting the most out of these people around you. Because simple as that, I was one of these people. When we have the manager, the team leader, just talk for the talk, never interested to hear our point, and we would just turn out from the meeting and we said, "You know what? We know what to do. Let him think about whatever is in mind. Just we will do whatever benefit us." Because in the end of the day, he was not here to listen to us. He was here just to practice that I can talk. I can hear myself talking very good. So, yeah. So this is the one leverage. The second one, your only leverage here is to get your stuff done is either your position, your status, or sometime you tend to get the most of your stuff done solo, which is a problem in this age. Nowadays, if we want to be successful, you cannot do it solo. You need team around you. You need people around you who believe in your conversation, who are ready to take it to the next step. As we and the second point, I answer this type of people. I say the only consistent in life is change. If the rules of the game changed and you lost or you lose your leverage, what will you do from there? So communication skills is required, my friend. For the second person who's responding that he recognized the importance of this communication, I would say, you know what? Stick around. This episode is made for you. Effective communication starts with you. You can influence the outcome by how approaching the conversations. And we will dive deep on this type of conversation later on. We've got also, yeah, Mustafa, thank you for the wishes, and always great to have you guys on the chat. For the first response, who said he's not interested, I would say, you know what? Good luck staying stagnated while the winners grow. When I mention about the type of conversation, and I want you guys, please, to just engage with me here, because this is a different angle of communication. We tend to jump to the result, which is the effective communication. And we never really think about the conversation itself, which we build the communication from it. It could sound alien for you, just bear with me. Do you think engaging with communication without predetermined intention, today, I'm with you guys here. Yes, I'm behind the camera and I'm just talking with you, but I have intention to start this live stream with you. I have intention to have to share with you some insights, some benefits of communication. So I have intention to start this conversation. This is actual conversation. Yes, it looks like one to camera, but actually it is one to with you guys, even when physically you are not here. But it's a conversation between me and you. I have intention. So now hold your horses before you say, before you come on at me and saying, oh, why you complicate stuff already before you even started. I know, hold your horses. But if you think about that way, well, my friend, I'm sorry to tell you, you have unfortunately failed to be a good communicator. One of the elements of communication is listen. Just wait for the person to complete his statement. Then you interject. So stick around. So maybe I can help you today. So you become better communicator. So why do we communicate? What is the purpose of communication? To start with, communication is a way to carry the conversation or the discussion. Some will label it as a discussion, which is fine. But there is multiple types of conversation. It can be during the discussion. And generally, there's 3 type of conversation, which is very important for you to focus on it. Thank you, Abdullah, for joining this stream, and Scarlet Rose, thank you very much for joining us today in this stream. Stick around. What are the 3 types of conversation? This is the essence of this stream. The first type is practical conversation. What do I mean by practical conversation? Practical conversation is when you engage with someone to solve, or trying to solve, or gain, or plan. Trying to solve a problem, trying to solve a situation, or gain a knowledge, which is we are here, gain a knowledge, or gain extra insight if you're going for a meeting, insights for in your workplace and so on, or plan, whether it's a plan for a work, plan of a trip, planning for a vacation, planning for a school, planning for grocery, planning for a game, planning for a run, maybe. The second type, emotion conversation, where actually feelings are discussed. How they feel. Maybe they are not looking for a solution. Guys, keep this in mind. We guys think differently than females. We always jump to the solution, but it could be not the solution. Could be the solution, keep your mouth shut and just let them vent out, and just hear them. Because maybe they are not looking for a solution. They are looking for someone to hear them. So the second type, which is emotion conversation, is maybe they are someone looking for someone to hear them or emphasize with them. So keep that in mind. There was more chats coming. Thank you, Flower M, for your words and encouragement. Guys, you are the fuel of this episode and the podcast. It's made for you. And thank you for being with us today. Now, the third type of conversation is the social conversation. In social conversation, you discuss social identities, things matter in life, things matter for you, how it's related with us, if you are living in country, what kind of things that affect you, the living, the housing, the grocery, these are all social. How it's related to us and how it's contribute to our society. If you have a different conversation, well, that's the thing. Now, I will ask you here, guys. On the last conversation that you had today, maybe before this live, you have, honestly, and be honest with yourself, did you have these 3 categories in mind? or not? Because these different conversation, it would lead to a different outcome. If you and me now today, we are talking two different type of conversation, can we really hear each other or connect? Let it sink in. If I am talking today about just social stuff and you are looking for some kind of emphasizing on the difficulty that you had it at work and you're trying to vent out, definitely we are not synced. There is no connection. There's no communication. Don't even think about effective communication. So I have seen this so many times in the past years. And guys, you're amazing in the chat. You're amazing. I can't say more, but it's great to have you here. If I say Mia Khatib, Nadouche, and Sarah, everybody, thank you very much for the chat. It's amazing to have you here. So I have seen this many times with the trainees that I have met since 2019. 2019, I start my training career. I wouldn't say in training career. It was an actually next step for after working with consultancy, because I could see the importance of developing the people skills. So I've been trainer since 2019. Some of the trainees conversation was actually off chart, to be honest. And it was for me to break through their mind, so to understand where they come from. Some of their conversation were all about taking a break from work and just having fun. Now, me as an instructor or trainer, I must master the art of effective communication. Why? Because I need to gauge them, what they feel, what they plan, and plan accordingly. So think about this way. As the trainer, will I ignore my trainee conversation type, which is at this moment of time, it's vague for me, because I have no idea whether if it is social conversation, maybe emotion conversation. Like some of them, I remember they joined the training session and they just literally were on the night shift. And the next morning, they were sitting with me in the training room. So they wanted to vent out their work frustration. So think about it. They are coming here to vent out their frustration from the workplace or from their manager and so on. And me coming up with a practical conversation, which is the training itself. So you guys tell me, in this scenario, will you consider my communication with them is effective? Even we'll take it further. Do you think I'm able to connect with them? Forget about communication now. Do you think if I ignore their actual needs and start with the training, roll the slides and start talking, did I have connection from the first place? Never mind the connection itself. If I don't profile them and define the type of conversation that they are looking for, I will fail miserably in my communication. For this reason, I always religiously do that in every course I do. I always tend to profile the trainee before even we start the actual training program, to guarantee the maximum benefit for them and get the satisfaction feeling of helping them. That will reward my hard work, to be honest. Because sometimes to get this proper material, training material, it will take me an average 20 to 24 hours work. So profiling the conversation, how it works, how it is can be done. Guys, it's not rocket science. Just bear with me. Remember when I said intention? And this is the part where you need to have the intention. Profiling the conversation, it might sound difficult in the beginning, but once you start practicing it, it will be like this. It will be like drinking water, like breathing, like a second habit for you. So here what I do. By profiling, I don't mean, of course, the professional background. Profiling, that's already done. I know how many years of experience they have. I know their background, their education, their occupation, which part of the activities of work they do. All this is done. I'm not talking about that kind of profiling. I'm talking about the conversation that they are really looking for. So the question will be, how will you provide the type of discussion they want to be engaged with? So here what I do it. Now, before you jump at my throat and you say, oh, this is not applicable for me, not applicable for me, just wait. Just wait. And try. I'm telling you how I do it, and then customize it. You guys, I trust you're smart enough. Customize it the way it can help you. Here's our question. And guys, this is the scenario I'm giving this question to trainees coming to a training course with me. Here we go. The first question I would say, when did you arrive and with whom? That's the first part. When was the last working day before joining the training? The amount of information that it will be shared by this gentleman will help me to define the conversation he's willing to. Is it emotional conversation? Or maybe not. I have no idea. Why I ask him about his travel with whom? Here's the catch. If he comes with his family and he has kids, automatically in his mind, he wants to fulfill the emotion part, which is make them happy, make his family happy, make his kids excited for the holiday. So 1/3 of his priority is to please that kind of conversation. Focus with me, guys. In his mind, well, I'm traveling here. I want to have these 5 days off. So my priority is to please my family and my kids since they are coming here. If he's traveling alone, but he just finished his shift and he start, oh, you know what? I wanted to get a break from job. My boss is pushing us for the last 6, 7, 8 months. What he's doing now is venting out. So now this will trigger or will give you a hint that maybe this emotion conversation is on the higher level. You need to be smart to catch that. The second question, I would say, why did you choose this program that you are attending with me? That's the first part. And give me your top 3 goals to achieve by the last day. Here, I will get my answer how much practical conversation they are ready and willing to invest the time doing it. Let me repeat. When I said to the person, like, why did you choose this particular course? Believe me, guys, I got some answers. You're gonna laugh. Some of them, they said, I didn't choose it. My boss chose it. So what do you expect me to start? Dive into the training material just like that? What kind of communication I will have with him? Big fat zero. Another answers I got sometimes, they're saying, oh, I've checked the best timing during this holidays, good weather, and I chose it accordingly. Again, do you expect this guy is willing and ready to train something, to learn something? Definitely not. That's on the left side. On the good side, which is I've seen a lot of these people, they have actually identified some problems in their job, not in their job, in their workplace, and they are missing some skills that really they want to learn it. And here you build the proper connection with people. I remember several times I have changed the course material after profiling people, because I figured out from the answers they gave me what is the real need. So many times I've trained hundreds and hundreds of people, guys. So many times I have seen the hunger for knowledge to a certain topic, and we create workshops, 5 days, until they grasp it, until they are ready to go back to their workplace and start implementing it. And that is the beauty of communication and having the proper conversation. The third question I would ask, what is your plan during the course? Of course, you booked the duration, it's 5 days, for example, or 3 days. What is your plan after you attend the course itself? That will give me the needed information about the social conversation part. How I will link it. As I said, I asked the first question about the emotion conversation. So think about it. He came with his family, with his kids. So when I ask him about the social part, and I would say, what is your plan after the training? Because anyway, you start at 8, you finish at 1. That's the training day. What are you going to do after it? A lot of them, they will say, oh, what's new in town? What's the latest mall? What's the latest attraction? Since it's a good weather, we can go. Maybe Global Village? I don't know. Again, this will tell you how much their interest towards social conversation. And honestly, I used to tell them, I sometimes became a what do you call it, tourist guide. Yeah, I would say, you know what, there's a new attraction here, new mall there. I like this mall, go for this one, don't go for this, so on. It's part of connection. And my whole target is to get connected with my trainee at that moment. They're totally strangers. I haven't seen them in my life. This is the first time I get engaged with them. So what is the main thing I have to do? Connect with them. Find the proper conversation to start with. So after I profile these questions, after I profile the type of conversation based on these 3 questions, then you will have it crystal clear to you how to tackle it, where to start with it. And this is the first step of a proper communication. To summarize it, if you're going to take notes of it, to summarize it for you, the 3 types of questions to determine the conversation type. Other people, I heard them who's on the motivation and communication sphere, they call it deep questions. This is my type of questions. Design your own type of questions, but this is what should go around it, and this is the flavor of it. Design it or tailor-made it, depends on the environment that you want to implement this activity on it. So when did you arrive, with whom? This will cover the emotion conversation. Why did you choose this program, and what are the top 3 goals you want to accomplish by the end of this program? This covers the practical conversation. The third question, I would say, what is your plans during the program, the training program? That covers the social conversation type. Now, after saying this, so we have emphasized on the importance of having the connection first, through building the right conversation to start talking about, to build this better communication. And then we have seen the three type of conversation people usually engage with. Now, after saying, someone would say, how can I use it in my environment? Well, it's easy. It's somehow simple, but it will require more intention and attention. Intention and attention. Remember when I said in the beginning, I said, I did this podcast or live with intention to connect with you. And 1 minute ago, and I said, if you want to take a note of the three questions, that is the intention. So don't be just like an NPC while living your life, while communicating with people. Why would you waste your time talking to someone just on the shallow level or a surface level? I don't do that. If I will be ending up talking with someone on surface level with no interest to communicate, to connect, or to have a proper communication, trust me, I would leave and do something else. My time is so precious. I'm not here to waste my time. So please don't be just an NPC. And before you jump and say, oh, what is an NPC stands for? It's a term used by my fellow gamers. It means non-player character. Not convinced? Go Google it. So here's the scenarios that we will take, how you can implement these three type of conversation. Hopefully, you can create a better connection, which is hopefully we can lead to a better communication, which is hopefully will reach to an effective communication, which is the goal. In scenario number one, if you are in the workplace, your intention and attention is to solve your daily problem at work. You need to be productive in your day. You have a demanding job. You have heavy load. A healthy environment between you and your colleague. In the end of the day, you spend at the workplace more than you spend at home. So better communication or better connection with your colleague on a productive level, practical level. This is where it comes important, because all of you guys at the workplace are there to deliver certain service or deliver certain tasks. So your focus at that day and the day work, let's call it a day work or day in office, or your office could be anything. You are there to deliver a certain job. It's a job that you have been hired to do it. So your whole conversation with your colleague, it should be around the practical conversation. Why? Because when you are connect with your colleague in a practical level, you know what tasks that you can do it, and you know what tasks that he can help you to do it. So when both of you on the productivity level high, then you can build a perfect team. Why do you think perfect team can be created? Because all of them, they have the same mindset. All of them, they are connected on one conversation, which is practical conversation. Talk to me about what task you need to be done. I'll do it. Talk to me about what is pending. We will do it. Tell me how I can help you. I will do it. But once you talk to me out of this conversation, then problems started. We'll come to that. So to make it easier for you to be productive at your work time and stay motivated, by the way, eventually you will not bring problem with you when you leave, when you go back home. When you are so focused and connected with the team around you with a certain conversation, trust me, you will have least amount of problems that you will bring back home with you. But if you're so messed up in the working, I know it's not a perfect scenario. I know. Just take it easy, guys. I know it's not perfect scenario, but you are aware, and this is the point. When I say don't be an NPC, be active, have intention, read the signs. If someone of your colleagues is just drifting you in a conversation beyond practical, it is your choice to draw the line. It's up to you. Someone will say, oh, here's my boss. Okay, it's the same thing. I worked with bosses who are like, they come from hell. But again, we just tackle the practical conversation. Yes, we will talk a little bit social ones. Yes, we will talk about emotional conversations. Yes, it will happen. It will not be isolated. But the heavy load of your intention and attention will be in the practical. So if you do that, trust me, you will be somehow less stressed when you go home to your family and loved one. Above all, most of your focus will be in the practical conversation. So in the workplace, keep your eyes, and not keep your eyes, keep your intention and attention towards the practical conversation. You might drift a little bit in social conversation when you're going for lunch, or you're going for a coffee break, or you go for, I don't know, water break. If you have, there might be happen. Good. This is okay. But your focus should be mainly on the practical conversation. To a certain extent, sometimes with HR, people sometimes they tend to share some emotional conversation. Okay, to a certain extent, if it's needed, if it is productive for you, good. Would I focus on it? No. Because in the end of the day, you are in the workplace that deemed to be productive. And what's productive? Is a practical conversation. And that will make your network at work more active, more, how can I say, rewarding to be with them. Because all of you guys synced, talk the same language, proper communication, and you talk the same language again. So you'll work in harmony. This is scenario in the workplace. Second scenario, at home, when you are with your family and the loved ones, your intention will be split. If I would say 60 and 20-20, could be 70, 15-15, but the conversation will be between three. Primarily, the intention and the attention is to nurture, create peace, and enjoyable time. Nurturing, peace, and enjoyable time. If it is the time to de-stress and calm down the madness during your working hours, then that will be an emotional conversation. Maybe you had a good day and just you wanted to give notes to your kids, family member, loved one, then that's part of the emotional conversation. Maybe sometime you need to give an advice for your kid. He did something in school. Your partner did something and he needs your advice. Or maybe it's a general life, how can I say, general being advice for the household. Maybe moving to a different apartment, maybe changing the neighborhood. Maybe how about we go for the park next week, or we go for a picnic outside. That is a practical conversation. Let's go for the enjoyable part. Oh, the weather is good. What kind of destination we can choose to go? Can we go and see other family members? Can we go to see our friends? Can we go to see so and so? Can we do we have this party so and so? This is a social conversation. You remember when I was telling my trainees that there was a new venue, there was a new entertainment, there was a new mall? This is social conversation. There could be a new movie in the theater and you say, oh, let's go and see it. Let's go bowling. That's a social conversation, because enjoyable is the goal. As I said, for sure, you cannot draw a line on how these conversations flow. No, it will cross. But again, the idea is you to be aware and use the best way to communicate effectively. Again, when you see the need is for emotion conversation, you know what is it. Maybe they need to vent out. Maybe they need someone they need to say something loud, but you don't need to intervene or to give guidance. And this is sometimes the clashes happen. I just want to say whatever in my mind. Okay, go for it. If it is something that require actually thinking process, then you engage on a practical solution, a practical conversation. And sometimes asking the right question here will help you a lot. To differentiate between someone needs an advice or someone is venting out, you could ask simple question. Do you need my advice or just you want to talk about it? See how simple, stupid is the question. This is how you build connection. Think about it, guys. As simpler than you think, but it's complicated more than you think. Let it sink in for a bit until I drink my coffee. We talked about how we can implement this type of conversation on the workplace, and we talked about it, how we can implement this in your home. How about implementing this while networking? Why I'm saying networking? In my last video about auditing 2024, we mentioned about relationships and networking. Networking, which is the network around you will make you succeed, and the network around you, which will help you to fulfill your goals, whatever is the goal. But again, you are not working solo. You cannot achieve success solo. So one of the main things people do, they try to attract other people with them, similar mindset, similar goals, similar intention, is networking. So how you can get networking, how the activity is network. I was in networking events, and to be honest, a lot of them are useless. Sorry to say that, because there is no intention behind it. The type of people who's going to this networking event, they have nothing in common. They don't have the desire to connect with people. They are just going there fishing. I'm sorry, fishing only, fishing for business cards, fishing to know you, and that's it. There is nothing about real connection. So if you are at a network event or a social gathering, and your intention, see, again, I'm saying your intention and attention is to gauge the audiences and profile them. Keep an eye on the type of conversation. Me, I'm a victim of this. Sometimes when I am in a networking event, most of the time I'm quiet. Yeah, quiet and here behind the mic talking nonstop. No, that's the truth. Why I'm quiet? Because I'm trying to gauge the type of conversation that it's happening. Then it is your choice to choose which type of conversation you would like to engage with. Why? Because once you identify the type of conversation, this group, this gentleman or this group of people that you like to get involved with, then it's for better engagement and communication. But again, networking is totally different topic. Maybe we can have a separate episode for it. But for now, by defining those types of conversation and situation, you will most probably have a chance to start your conversation on the right foot, maybe for the first time. Even better, you will be asking the right question to break the ice. There is a lot of books talks about breaking the ice. A lot of books saying or trying to teach people how to ask the right question. But what is the right question is based on the right conversation. And if you are not able to understand the conversation happening in the front of you, then that's a problem. So asking the right question to break the ice and keep the flow of the conversation, I walk with free. That's the goal. So this is what we call it, effective connection, which will yield into effective communication. So this is the three scenarios you can have. If you remember the three type of question I ask every trainee I had, those questions are called deep questions. I highly suggest you, if you guys, if this episode was no good at all for you, and you get out of one thing you can learn, is deep question. Deep question is one of the underrated tool you can ever use to engage in a proper conversation. I'm not saying interrogation questions. That's not a deep question. Interrogation question is, what do you do? Where are you? That's not engagement question. That's not deep question. If I will ask someone about his job, instead of saying to him, what do you do for a living? No. What does excite you at work? Then that's a conversation. I like to engage with my client. I like to talk to my client. I like to help people in the office. That's a deep question. And that's the difference between a deep question and interrogation question. If you ask the deep question, you notice that I engage with them on a different level, so that I give them the opportunity to reveal what their intention, without me prejudging them or criticizing them. Because I have seen a lot of training session happens, and I could literally see the trainer just go through slides, and the crowd around him, they are in a different world. Maybe they are in La La Land. I have no idea. So to summarize this, how to use the understanding of the conversation at your work, at your environment, at your workplace. Focus on practical and social conversation for productivity, and only productivity, and sing together. For family, when you are with your family and loved one, use the emotion conversation to nurture the relationship. This is important, guys. If you have an elderly person in your family, the kind of conversation that you will engage with is totally different than any conversation you will have it with peers or someone on your level, not like age level. And this happens so many times when the parents are getting older and they are separated away from their kids. When they are reunioned again, usually elder people tend to go either negative or too emotional. But we misunderstand it somehow, because they are on the edge of their life and they are feeling that they will be left behind. So they tend to go over emotion, or sometimes they come negative to a certain extent. So I encourage you guys, if you have your parents are still alive, please look at the conversation that your parents are looking for. Don't jump to the conclusion. Don't be like me. Sometimes I did this mistake, so don't do it. And look for this type of conversation that your elderly people looking to have with you. And the third scenario, which is the networking event, gauge the type of conversation and adapt accordingly. Why? If the environment's all about productivity and practicality, engage with the same level. Don't come off talking about some social stuff or trying to be emotion conversation at that level, because everybody will look at you like, really? Like, why you come off like that? And one extra tip here: don't be an NPC. Be an active player in your own story, and sometimes use some humor. Don't be like me. So, well, the time fly with you guys, and I'm really thrilled to see the engagement and everybody on the chat. Thank you so very much for being with us today and enjoying this session. And maybe we can do another session on communication, and we can open it for question and answer, but not today. Thank you, Assam, for this comment. It's a good idea, and I will consider it, inshallah, in the future. So, as a conclusion, I know some of you are watching this episode from the title, and you assume I would be talking about eye contact. I will talk about body language, or maybe handshake. Not really. Well, I'm glad that I have disappointed you. Those things will come after, when you have connected with when you have already established the connection based on the conversation level. Effective communication is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Whether you are at work, home, or out networking and start to build your network, mastering this skill is the first step, making 2025 your best year yet. Remember the 3 types of conversation: ask the deep question, and always engage with intention. Without intention, there is nothing. For you guys, thank you very much for these chats. Really, it's a blessing to have you all here, considering the weekend. If you found this episode is helpful, don't forget to like it, of course, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Follow me on social media for daily tips and motivation. And if you have not yet seen the auditing episode, I highly encourage you to go back and watch it. It will give you a clarity where you need to build a stronger conversation and communication. Let's make 2025 your year. Again, let's make 2025 your year to shine. I just showed you the door. Now it's up to you what you want to do with it. Stay focused, stay motivated, and keep striving for success. I will see you in the next episode. Until then, guys, keep winning. This was your host. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for being with us.